Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm actually doing pretty good this morning. I'm just uh, doing this from bed instead of my walk because I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to be able to go out for my walk and do my exercises, yoga, all that sort of stuff this morning because today is the day I go and get the car rental. Yay! And as you can see, I need a shower. So yeah, I'm just and my sugar is a little bit low and so forth, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I think it'd be best if I just chill. So, which is weird because, well, I went out for a walk last night, and when I got home, it was actually kind of funny because I shortly after I started my walk, I'm like, oh crap, I need to go pee. And I ain't just gone, but I was like, oh well, so I went and I was more concerned about that. And then when I get home, all of a sudden my alarm on my glucometer is going off, letting me know. And I thought it was going to show high or something. No, I'm low. I'm like, oh, great. So yeah, I had to take care of that. And well, I went to the bathroom and then I just sat for a little bit because sometimes it'll straighten itself out, especially after doing the walks. That's what it did the night before, but it wasn't straightening out. If anything, I was sinking even more. So it was like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to go take care of this. So I had made my banana nut bread yesterday. So I went downstairs, grabbed a slice of that, and like, okay, and I just wasn't rebounding very well, so I went ahead and grabbed a glass of lemonade, just a half a glass, and with two combined, it brought me up. Well, unfortunately, though, well, I went ahead and took my nighttime insulin after that, and all night my glucometer kept waking me up. High sugar, high sugar. Finally, I turned the alarm off. It was like, okay, I don't need to know in the middle of the night if my sugar is going high. I'll just take, no worries. No, it's the lows that I have to worry about overnight. So, and the nighttime shot is the long-lasting insulin. So, oh, excuse me. Usually that will take care of at least some of the sugar. Well, get up this morning and my sugar is 107. Okay, just before I jumped on this, and I've only been up for about 30 minutes, something like that. Now it's down to like 86, and I'm feeling kind of, shaky a little bit, so I know it's still dropping. And I'm like, okay. It's one of those days. So that's all right. I'll get that straightened around. No big deal. But yeah, today's the day I go get the car. So yay. And I just had to call Uber to get my ride share credit. 'Cause it's a $40 ride share credit. It's like I'll eat up at least most of, if not all of the rides. So I would still have to take care of the tip or what have you, but at least I got the ride credit. But oh, excuse me, yeah, today's that day, and I still have to take care of her, and of course I got to take care of this sugar that's going low. And I really don't want to be eating anything before I go. I'll just grab a bottle of Ensure and do that and make sure I take that and my bottle of insulin with me. So I've got that in case I run into a problem because I'm going way on the other side of the cities. So it's on the it's like south of St. Paul is where I am, and I'm north of what they refer to Minneapolis, St. Paul as the cities, the Twin Cities. Okay, so they just refer to them as the cities. So yeah, I'm north of all that, and I gotta go way south. So it's like, yeah, and in an Uber because today Rick is having yet another surgery. I don't know what this one is or anything. I know it had something to do with everything that's been going on. I'm just not entirely too sure what exactly is going on. So, yeah, I got to take an Uber all the way down there. Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit of an adventure. So I got to make sure I take the other stuff with me also. So, like the cell phone mount and so forth, so I can make sure I can figure out how to get home. Google Maps, right. I don't know my way around here. No idea where I'm going or anything. So, yeah, this will be a little bit of an adventure. So, but yeah, today's that day. So we can get this ball rolling again. Exercises have been going well. I did break down and take some more ibuprofen last night. I was still a little bit on the sore side. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to go ahead and take that ibuprofen to help calm the muscles down. And of course, I slept up underneath my heating blanket. I didn't drink any of the tea. I have been doubling up on my hot cocoa. So I'm getting that cacao powder into me. So, yeah, and everything's doing well in here. I'm feeling a lot of healing happening and everything. So that's definitely a huge plus. The airways are clear. It has been humid. It really got up there yesterday with the heat. It got up to 80 yesterday, and the humidity also climbed. But all in all, it felt good, and it was a gorgeous sunset last night too, so that was good. But yeah, with everything combined, it was just a nice, beautiful day yesterday. For whatever reason, Angie was telling me that her oven is a little funky or whatever, but for whatever reason, I could not get the center of that bread to bake. It was like it was in there for the allotted time, but it just would not bake. I don't know if it's that, or I did use 4 really kind of large bananas, and blackened. But I don't know which it was, but for whatever reason, the center of it would not bake. And so because of it, the edges are a little bit well done, we'll say. Not burnt, but well done. But yeah, it just wouldn't finish. But I finally got it to finish baking. It was like I kept checking it, and finally it finished. So, yeah, I usually do muffins instead of bread, so I know that's a huge difference also in my expectations. But that's okay. I think when I first did this recipe, I think I did it as bread. I'm not too sure, but that was a long time ago, so I don't remember. And this is actually a recipe a friend I had at the time. She had found it up on the internet, and I had been trying to do a really good banana nut recipe, and then when she found it, I was just like, oh, I have to have it. And she's like, you can't have it unless I have your pecan sandy recipe. I'm like, that was my mom's friend's recipe, and in order for my mom to get it, she had to promise her she wouldn't give it out, this and that and everything. But I'm like, I really wanted that recipe, and I'm just like, fuck it. At some point it's gonna get out anyway. Because back in those days, unfortunately, what would happen sometimes, if it was a really good recipe or whatever, somebody would get it and then they would turn around and sell it to some of the major cookie companies. Yeah, so it happened to my mom. You can thank my mom for a certain chocolate chip cookies with M&Ms in them. Yeah, that was my mom. Only she did them. They changed it a little bit, so in that way they couldn't go back on them or whatever. Yeah, but they changed it a little bit. But basically, that was my mom's creation. So, and we lived in Michigan at the time, and my mom knew somebody who worked at that company. or at least her husband did or whatever. So, yep, 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 yep. Gotta love it. So, but anywho, so I did that yesterday and also cooked my dinner, and it was like, yeah, that was good. I haven't had that in a while. So, yeah, that was really good. And, of course, now I have leftovers, and I should have more than enough money in the account to cover the rental, so I'm looking to make that run to Whole Foods afterwards and Walmart. Fingers crossed I'll be able to do that as well. But I would like to be able to at least make it to Whole Foods so I can whatchamajig, get the rest of everything, excuse me, that I need so I can make my mini minestrone, mini meatball, excuse me, minestrone soup. I'll get it out right eventually. I'm trying to find where she's at. Oh, okay. Looks like she's hunting. I think she's hunting buggies that get in, because we still haven't finished with the installation of the AC unit. It just needs the side panels, some new side panels put on. That's it. But we have had a little bit more important things. I shoved towels in, but unfortunately, with all the rain, they get wet and then they start to sink, and then buggies. So anyway, aside from that, yeah, things are going pretty good and everything. So yeah, it's been nice. So nice and relaxing. I haven't finished my sewing yet. I was a little bit busy yesterday, but that's okay. I'll finish it at some point. I'm not in any hurry. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I got. I know. Nice quiet life. Exactly what I was looking for. Now I just have to lose this weight. But I'm getting myself in shape. My legs aren't hurting as bad today, and I know I'm losing here and there or whatever, because like in my wrists, my bracelets are getting a lot looser. My rings are getting loose. It's just the middle section. You know how that goes. The muffin top with the tummy. I know some of that is female issues. I do have fibroids, so it's like I know some of it is that. Of course, my ass, which I will admit is actually looking pretty good. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, that's looking nice. But my thunder thighs, yeah, I wouldn't mind keeping the ass a little bit, but the thunder thighs have got to go. So, working on it. And guess who decided to join us? There she is. She's the one that everybody wants to see, not this old lady. Yeah. Everybody wants to see you because you're so beautiful. Yeah. They don't want to see Mommy. She's like, whatever. I want to see you, Mommy. And that's what matters most. Yeah. I know. Oh, my word. There she is. Yeah. There she is. Anyway, I had a train of thought there, with Miss America, and then I was thinking about who wound up running the Miss America pageant and what's happening in LA right now. Had that little reminder to all my LA folk. Please be careful, okay? Let's face it, he's an idiot. And yeah, It's basically a military state. Ridiculous. So just be careful, folks, okay? Or if you're going to be traveling there or whatever, please be careful, okay? Yeah, I found out about it yesterday. It's like, it's ridiculous. I hope that maybe those that are involved that were sent, that maybe what they'll do is that they'll just put down their arms and protest also. I realize that's their job to follow commands, this and that and everything, but, there was another era where people used that as an excuse too. Happened almost 100 years ago. And we just had the 81st anniversary of D-Day, if it gives you an indication of what I'm talking about. And it was not a good situation either. So, not that I'm trying to compare or anything, but unfortunately those involved used the excuse, I was just following orders. Well, and our reasoning for convicting was, well, you know what? You can disobey orders. You do have a brain. You do have free will. It's your choice if you're going to continue to follow orders or proceed to, I'm trying to think of the word that I'm trying to think of, to basically bring about brutality. Yeah. We don't need a repeat of the 60s either. Something that's less, these people, they have the right to protest. They have the right to, and I realized that there's been vandalism and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's going to happen. Which isn't right either. And I realize that's part of what is being prevented. But at the same point, we also don't need a repeat of what happened 5 years ago with George Floyd, with police departments using rubber bullets, making false arrests, all that sort of stuff. I went through it. Not here, of course, where everything got started, but out there in Vegas with the protests. And it was the main reason why I wasn't working during that time. Not necessarily because of the pandemic, but because of what was happening on the Strip in downtown Fremont Street with the protests. We don't need that sort of repeat either. So, yeah. And speaking of Vegas, yesterday was the calendar call for the domestic violence situation that I was witness to just before I left. I did get a call on Monday from from one of the DA's investigators. Or I didn't get a call, but a text message asking me if I was going to be there or whatever. And I'm like, look, I've already told you people that I don't have a real ID. I couldn't secure a real ID, and I don't have a passport in order to be able to fly. So you're going to have to, if I have to be there, you're going to have to figure out some other way to get me there. And otherwise, it's going to have to be a video call, unless it's something that is not permissible in that level of court or whatever. And if that's the case, you're going to have to figure out a way to get me there. So anyway, he was like, okay, I'll let the DA know. That's the last I heard. So I waited yesterday to see if I was going to hear from them, because yesterday was the calendar call to see if they were going to be proceeding on the 16th or not. Never heard from anybody through phone calls, text messages, or anything. So I went up on the website, which changed completely. So I had to hunt it down, the court case. I had to hunt it down to find out, what happened and everything. And I will admit it's a lot more streamlined, but they're leaving out all the notes. So I'm having to infer a lot of this information that I'm going to be telling you guys. So anyway, what I found out is that they did have the calendar call yesterday morning at 8:30, and of course I have no notes to know what happened, but there was another entry that was put in for the 12th for a reading of the charges and entering of a plea again. Okay, then there was another entry for the 16th where that basically that court date is vacated by order of the judge. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. All I can figure out is that maybe that there's a plea deal. And so, he has to go through that whole process again and so forth. That's the only thing I can figure out as to what has happened. Maybe the last couple of months while he's been sitting in the can, it's given him opportunity to calm himself down and actually do some thinking and everything, and realize that what his attorneys have been telling him, hey, you don't stand a chance, mano. So, yeah, that's the only thing I could figure out as to what has happened. So we'll see what happens on the 12th. I'll let you know and everything. So, but yeah, that was quite interesting to see yesterday. He does have a good attorney, and you figure with all in all, and I have no idea who's paying for this attorney. It's going to cost him an arm and a leg for him to go to trial too. So it could be several things combined with going ahead and maybe taking a plea deal. I have no idea if that's what the case is, but we'll find out tomorrow, actually, come to think of it. So, but anyway, we'll see. So, but yeah, that was an interesting turn of events. I think it's awesome. But still, yeah, even if he enters a plea or whatever, he still has options and so forth where he could possibly try other things. So, in the future or whatever, could say that he was coerced or something like that, but yeah, either way, I could still wind up, having to participate or something like that. But that's tomorrow's worry to worry about. But then again, nothing may ever happen. And if it is what we think it is, I just, like I've been saying, right from the start, I wish him well, and I just hope that maybe he sees reason, for what happened, and maybe in the process, maybe get some help, I feel I'm somebody who believes that we have positive and negative in all of us. Some of it can be life circumstances that drives the negative out in us. Some of it is just us with our own makeup, with how we're built, basically, how we came out biologically or what have you. I believe that it's in all of us. even the possibility to commit murder, even the possibility to hurt people or animals or what have you pretty badly. But it's up to us to make those decisions to drive down, whether we're going to drive down those urges or not. And in some ways, those things were put into us as part of necessity, as part of survival, so that we can, so we keep ourselves out of danger. So we're not walking into things that can possibly harm us. We had fear and anger and so forth put into us. So first fear, so we possibly will stay out of dangerous situations. And at the same point, if we do wind up walking into them, even if it's inadvertently, we have the capacity to be able to protect ourselves. The anger, that whole fight or flight sort of thing and everything. So, but it's up to each of us to make the decisions whether we act on impulses, thoughts, so on and so forth. And whether we want to admit to it or not, we all have them. We all have things that cross our minds or what have you. And we may feel shameful at the time if it does. Like if we get mad at somebody or what have you, and it's like, oh, I just want to punch that person in the face, things like that. But it's up to us to make that decision to walk away from that feeling and be more civil and maybe just have a discussion instead of an all-out brawl. There's kind of a running theme here today between LA and the okay. So, but anyway, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I think that I feel that each of us, it's, like I said, no matter what, it's in all of us for reasons, both positive and negative. But it's up to us to decide how we're going to react to all situations and so forth. So, anyway, I hope that that gentleman, I won't say what his name is or anything, whether it was because of environment, maybe, or if it's just his personality or what have you, or him thinking that it's okay, maybe, how he was raised, all that sort of stuff or whatever. I hope that he's able to, even if there isn't help available, like in the system, like a psychiatrist or whatever, where he can talk about his problems and so forth, that maybe he can at least do some soul searching and do some self-help, get some guidance from spirit, be able to hear spirit, and follow a different path. So, and learn how to control things and so forth. and change mindsets. So, but anyway, and unfortunately, while I was living there, I heard it quite a few times, unfortunately. So it isn't just him, it's also quite a few others as well. So all I can do is wish people well sometimes. So we'll see. Like I said, after I find out anything tomorrow, I'll let you know. Looks like another bald eagle, maybe. No, I think it was too small for one. But anyway. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk at you soon. I really do need to get myself moving. I only got a couple hours. Love you.